Hi guys, my name's Andy, welcome back to Scottish Dream Productions and another video. Today I'm going to give you a layout update for November of 2022, so without any further delay, let's get into it. Now then, just before I start, if I sound a bit stuffy or bunged up at any point throughout this video, it is because I've got something coming on to me that winter has decided to throw at me with the seasonal change, so if I sound a bit stuffy, and that's why I think I've got a bit of a cold coming on. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start at this end of the layout and work my way across until we get to the very end. I'm going to talk about everything that needs to be talked about along the way. So let's get into it. So like I said, we're starting off at the left hand side of the layout and then we'll work our way all the way across. So starting off here, you'll see that I've done this sort of slightly raised section. You will see a lot of shadows. I've tried to do a bit of a makeshift lighting setup behind me. If you want to see what I did, go over to the second channel. There'll be a video up there on what I've done. So with this little raised section, it is raised because here you can see it's not totally at the bottom, but it's not totally at the top, whereas over there these little sticks, it's at the other end over there, it's just below the top stick, whereas this one, it's just touching the second to bottom one. So this has a very slight incline up that way, which is sort of what I want because this is based in the Scottish Highlands. There are hills in the background, so even if you can't tell it's a hill when it's fully modelled, it'll still be there. So when I built this, I literally had various pieces of cardboard left over, so I cross-strutted them as supports to give it a bit of extra height. I didn't intend for it to be a bit of a hill, but that's just what's happened. So I put supports underneath to raise it a bit because I wanted some sort of upper level so it's not all completely flat. And then all these sticks you see in front of you here were all individually laid, glued, and then over here you can see I had to rip it up. Over here I had a bit of an issue where the Class 68 that I've got, the overhang was actually causing the buffers to clip the wooden sticks. So I had to rip this bit off. I might put something temporary down to figure it out, but for now the plan is to put a fence there a little bit further back, just to ensure nothing catches when locos go around this corner. And once I've got it all sorted, I will paint the area, I will put static grass on, and that area will be sorted. But there's one more thing I want to do with this section. So on my way to work, I saw this field and it had this sort of tiny pond area with grass tufts sitting around it. And I thought that would be a really good little thing to maybe add onto the layout. Maybe something over here at the back, or maybe in the middle, or I don't think I'll add it over here because this is a really small area, so it'll either be in the middle or over there, just like a really small water feature or just something there to add a bit of, variety to the scenery. So what I'm probably going to do is cut this bit out, get some plaster cloth, that's the name of it, I just forgot. So get some plaster cloth, which I've got in the cupboard down there, and then lay the plaster cloth, so maybe put a few bumps and humps in it, make it look like it's actually a hill, and then paint and static grass. So that's the plan for there for now. I might add some campers. I'm definitely going to add the TARDIS and Tom Baker's Doctor Who because I can. And then that part of the layout will be done. So with ballasting these straight plain bits here, I didn't really have much issue with it. It was just put the ballast down, tamper it in, water and washing up liquid, glue and water mix, and it's sorted. It is set, solid as a rock, not going anywhere. Now I haven't ballasted the points yet because I am terrified to do it because I have never actually ballasted points correctly. I've always done it wrong. I've always done something that I shouldn't have. So the plan is to do it correctly with the method that Dave over at Dean Park Station uses.
I get so many questions about how I go about ballasting a turnout or a point. You can't use a ballast spreader as you would do for a normal straight piece of track or a main line. You've got to go with a slightly different approach here. You've got to keep glue and ballast away from the mechanism, because if that gets clogged up, you're never going to be able to operate the point, either manually or using the point motors that I do. So what I do is I use PVA, and the areas around about the mechanism and the switch blades, I put glue, neat PVA in between the sleepers, like so. Okay, that's probably enough glue. As you can see, I've gone 2 or 3 sleepers each side of the mechanism there. Now, I then take my ballast. In this case, I'm using the medium ballast from Woodland Scenics, and it's a grey blend. So I just take it on a teaspoon and carefully present it to the glue, avoiding that mechanism. Don't worry if you go too generous, you can spread it out. Okay, a little bit going a bit too generous there, and the same at the sides. Cover the side sleepers. Now you'll notice I'm not putting any glue around about these areas as well, because that will affect when the point moves out. You don't want ballast right in there. Not if you want an operating point anyway. I put a bit down here as well, just below the line of the cork. Now I'm going to use my teaspoon just to put the ballast in the rest of the turnout. Don't need to glue these bits down just now, they're far enough away from the mechanism so you can saturate that with the glue later, with the PVA water mix. Get any excess that you do have, you can push out to the tracks at the side, so don't panic if you go over the score here. And again on the side, trying to get that shoulder, cover the sleepers.
So that's the method that I'm going to use, and I'm going to be ever so careful about it to, not mess it up and ruin the layout and have to rip everything up again and just, regret my decisions that I've made. Speaking of ballasting points, the catch points are indeed ballasted, but this area here is not ballasted because I've still got a signal to go there, and I will need to eventually drill through there to drop wires through to connect to whatever control I have at the back. So that's going to stay unballasted until I get the signal. The points still work absolutely fine, no issues there. But when it came to ballasting these parts in particular, you'll see there is the point blade there, and then just here there is some sort of kind of check rail, if you will. Getting ballast in between this little crack between the check rail and the actual rail itself was a pain in the backside, because there's no point having just ballast in the middle and then no ballast down here, which will be obvious to the eye when you inspect things closer. So getting ballast in there was a bit of a pain in the ass. I ended up just filling in the middle with ballast and kind of just pushing it underneath. And then same with the technique from Dean Park Station. I did a little bit of PVA in between the sleepers, tampered it down, and then about here onwards I just did the normal PVA water mixed, water and washing up liquid. And it's all set perfectly, the points still work as you saw, so I'm really, really happy that I've managed to do that. That's got rid of some of my anxiety about ballasting points, but I'm still terrified when it comes to doing that one. Now with this area that leads into the bay platform, that wasn't really too much hassle to ballast. Now as you can see with the light shining on the layout, it is very, very shiny. I've never weathered track, but I'm willing to give it a go. So once I've got all the detailing done, I will have an attempt at weathering the track, but for right now I'm going to leave it as it is. The Woodland Scenics Rusty Rail pen markers, probably the only thing I'm going to use. I don't feel confident enough with airbrushes or ballast paints or ballast oils or anything like that. I really don't want to ruin this because I'm really happy with how far it's come. Now with this little area at the front just here, the plan is to get some brick sheets going across the front, and then there's going to be a little path that basically just comes out of nowhere, follows all the way along the front, and then just before what's going to be the bridge support here, it's going to just turn off, disappear, happy days, scene done. Nothing too complicated, nothing over the top, just nice little scene, something extra to look at. Maybe add some hikers, some dogs, Donald Trump maybe, I don't know. Anything's possible on this layout. And now as we look at the station, you will have noticed that compared to last time in the layout update I did, this platform had just had the extra square fitted there and was actually missing this end platform piece. Was it? Actually no, I don't think it was. I think that was there, but I didn't paint it. Yeah, so I've painted the platform. As you can see, there are still a few odd bits of grey. I don't know whether to keep that or whether to paint over it and then kind of concentrate on weathering it properly. Because concrete platforms were relayed constantly whenever there were potholes. So you will see some inconsistency with the colour of the tarmac when it comes to concrete platforms. Now, I need to do some more research into this before I do anything to this platform colour-wise. So I think for now, the plan is I'm going to just cover up the dark areas with another coat of paint because that's all it needs. This kind of light grey is I believe the third or the second coat. And then the darker one underneath is the previous layer. So it just needs one more coat and then it'll be absolutely perfect. I still need to get rid of these little cracks here with some PVA or maybe some filler. Still not sure how to sort that out. I tried filling it in with PVA. It worked well along the front here. You can see there's only a tiny gap there. But that's quite a large gap. I mean, even from here you can see it. So I might struggle with that one. But I am never one to back down from a challenge. So I will give it a go. Hopefully by the time November comes around, you will see a difference. So that's the work I've done thus far on the layout for the November update. The The hell is a pat? The platform is now fully built and painted. The field area is installed. The ballast is going down. I just need to do that last point. And when I get the signal, that will go in. And so that just leaves us with the goodies that are in front of you here. Now everything I've just talked about, the field and the static grass, and the pond, the walkway along the front, everything I need to do that is here. So the walkway along the front, I've actually got some brick viaduct sheets. So these are flexible viaduct bridge linings, SSMP 231 from Will's Kits. And these are almost perfect for what I need. So you can see the texture of it there. It's almost like the wall is facing that way. Now I mentioned I wanted to add some line side scenery to the layout to make it seem more alive. How am I going to do that? Well, that's going to be with these. These are trackside street litter packs. I've got 2 of them, and they are from the amazing chap over at Cheeky Tech. The link to his YouTube will be in the description. He has an eBay page. He makes some amazing things. I have been eyeing up these detail packs for the longest time. Now I finally got them. I can't wait to get them installed and see how they look on the layout. I'm going to have a few on the station. I'm going to have some bits either side of the platforms. And I can't wait to see it all come together. Cheeky Tech, thank you so much for making these. And thank you so much for sending them to me. I can't wait to get them on the layout, my friend. Thank you. Now, If you remember, a while ago I did my first attempt at static grass on Ribble Valley Railway, the model layout that's at Ribble Steam Railway. That static grass applicator actually broke when I dropped it. And I've literally just electrocuted myself. I don't know how, I just put the static grass applicator down and then it just goes boom. It really hurts, it still does. So yeah.
That one later. Right, I will be back.
No worries.
If the phone rings,
Yeah?
you can either ignore it.
I say when I dropped it, I mean when the bloody thing electrocuted me, so yeah, word of wise to the newer modelers out there who are getting into static grass, do not shake the static grass applicator at all, because that static grass will be charged, and if it lands on you, it will give you a shock like you've just touched an electric fence. It is horrible. So when that fell, it broke and I couldn't really use it anymore. So I've got this nice new one. Absolutely lovely. Didn't cost me that much, and it's not as big and bulky. The other one was the size of my entire forearm. It was absolutely humongous, way oversized for what you actually do on the layout. And the kind of design of it just wasn't the greatest either. So this one is so much better, a lot cheaper as well. The other one cost me like 40 quid. So I've got this now. I've got the static grass here. I don't know if it says which one I got in particular, but this is from Serious Play Scenics. Thank you very much for sending me this. I mean, I bought it, so you kind of had to send it me. So I'm going to use this static grass on the front and on the back. Now, with the layout being based in Scotland, I had to go for a kind of darker green, because let's face it, the grass up in Scotland, it isn't like down south. It's not Bryce? Who the hell is Bryce? The grass down south is nice and bright and colourful, whereas up in Scotland, where the weather changes more than, oh god, I can't see on YouTube, but it changes a lot. So the grass up there takes an absolute beating. It doesn't get that much sun, so the colour isn't really there. So I've gone for this kind of nice autumn colour grass. It's not really summer, it's not really spring, it's more of an autumn wintry colour. So I've gone for that. That's going to go down the field, along the front, and I hope I don't electrocute myself this time. God, that was horrible. And finally, the last newest addition to my, well, layout toolkit, I can say. So I got myself a big pack of paintbrushes, because as modelers we need paintbrushes for anything and everything. Whether it's brushing the ballast along, whether it's nudging some wood into the right place, or obviously painting and using very fine brushes, very broad ones that look like makeup appliances. What the hell? Or ones that look like they've got Jedward's haircut. So with all this new equipment at my disposal, I'm going to commence work at a very gradual pace. I'm not going to rush this out. I'm going to take my time with it so I have a reason to come back. If I rush it out in a week, there's going to be no reason for me to come back to this, and it's going to be sitting idle for God knows how long. So progress will be slow and steady. As always, guys, slow and steady wins the race. Always. So, guys, that is it for this layout update. That's the plan for what's happening. I'm looking forward to doing it. Are you looking forward to seeing it? So, I'm going to leave it at this. Progress is continuing, and also I would just like to say quickly, the views and the support I've been getting on the channel over the last month or so has been absolutely incredible. I would be nowhere on this channel without you guys, so just from the bottom of my relatively Scottish-ish heart, because I've lived in England half my life, just thank you guys so much for everything. I would love for you to continue the support. It would mean the world to me to know that you're still there, I'm still making content that you are coming back to see. So thank you guys so much for watching this layout update. If you liked it, leave a like and a good comment. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike and a bad comment. Up on the screen now, there's a few suggestions for what you can watch. There's that one where, I did a thing. Or there's this one here where you can see the previous layout update. And if you want, click on my face if you want to subscribe. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video and see you later. Bye for now.